Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Looking back at life as it's been before, holding on to things that might have been, knowing that this day will never come again, as my spirit's guiding me.
Hi, this is Lainey Risto, and you're listening and watching to Soul Chat in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today we have my guest co-host is also a partial sponsor of the show.
Just enough to get on.
Wayne Hildebrand is here, Reiki master and teacher and owner and director. Are you the director today? Last time you weren't really sure what you were doing.
Yeah, just let it go.
Okay, let it go. Let it go.
No.
We've had that. We've been going back and forth with that this week. Did you see that, George? Did you see that? What was it? It was that woman.
Yeah, the YouTube video.
It was African American woman, and her eyes just pop, but she's stuck home with her child.
I didn't see that one.
Day number 3.
She's going.
I can see that happening.
You can hear the kid in the background. She's this day number 3. Yeah. Schools. We haven't been in school, and you can hear it in the background, and the kid's singing "Let It Go." It's the whole thing from Frozen, and she says at one point, she says, "I've never wanted to choke cartoon characters before."
I would kill. And your dog goes, "Don't kill." She's like,
"Don't kill." Yeah. And her eyes just pop down. It's got. I looked at it. It's got like 34 million views on Facebook. I'll find it and send it to you. It is priceless. It's really worth it. So, on that note, we're going to talk today about who am I really. And
do I need my driver's license?
No, we're not looking at your driver's license.
I want to know who I am. I want to make sure I'm the right guy here.
Yeah. Okay. I signed mortgage papers this morning.
Oh, boy.
And I looked at it. She looked at my head to prove ID, and she goes, "Oh, my gosh, your driver's license is out of date." And I said, "It's September already? Did I just lost 2 months?" But it's because the driver's license, it's so tiny. Have you seen? You can hardly see those things, you know? So anyway, who am I really, and from the spiritual aspect, but we're going to talk about that. We both end up working with people a lot, and it really does come down to who am I?
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's with me. Anyway, with that, I'm going to launch into what did I learn about myself this week. Yeah, he's still thinking about it.
Oh, boy, which one?
Yeah, I know. Pick one. I made a commitment to myself last week to stop eating sugar. And so far I'm on like day 3 or 4. And
are your eyes bulging out of your head yet?
Yeah. And oh man, I walked by. My son and his girlfriend are staying with me right now, and she was making pancakes this morning. And I came around the corner, I could smell them, you know. And my mind, it must be that my mind is trying to help me, because I looked at her and she goes, "You want some of these?" And I said, "Why does it look like it has peas and carrots in it?" And she says, "No, those are chocolate chips and strawberries." And I went, "Oh, I think I'm going to go back to peas and carrots, because I can't do it." But what's interesting in the process of doing that, of cutting it back, I'm realizing how much I use it as a drug. Really.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah, you're familiar with that one too, aren't you? Yeah. And it's just brought out some really interesting stuff that's coinciding with it. And one of them is, there's a big part of me, I was telling Wayne about it earlier, that I have a situation going on in my life where I'm really attached to getting approval from this certain person. And it's not her. I think she represents everybody in my life that I've always wanted to say, "You're okay." And she just won't do it. She's not working with me. But it's, you know, after all the work I've done, after all the emotional awareness for 8 years with Gary Zukav, after all the shamanic work, those threads are still there. So if people think by doing this work you get to step off to the side and you don't have to do anything, you've got it all figured out, that's not the truth. I don't think you stop figuring things out until you're not in this reality anymore.
And then it could be questionable. And
Could
then
be.
we're up for grabs.
I know that when I go on a journey, and we've talked about this, that you can go to Spirit and say, well, I'm going to go into this relationship. Will it be a good one? And they're going to go, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
do
it's, yeah, go right ahead. Because it's either going to be the best thing in your life or it's going to be the worst thing and you're going to learn from it.
Yeah, great learning
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. So that's part of it. So what I'm learning about is, and it's learning. It's not what I learned. I'm still in process with this. What I'm learning is that I've got this piece of me that's got a deep root in getting approval. And I don't like it. And I want to eat. And when I tap into it, oh man, I could run to the 7-Eleven down the street and get a bag this big of M&Ms, you know. Because it's painful. It's painful. It's not fun.
Yeah,
So I'll probably be talking more about that next week, because I'm kind of at the place that it's like stopping smoking. When you finally get on the other side, when you get at the week and you think about having another one, you got to go through that pain all over again. I don't want to do it.
Next week we're bringing a couch in so you can lay down, and George will have his little notebook going.
If I walk in and there's one of those big jars of M&Ms sitting on the counter, right, I'm done.
I'll just say, okay, relax. Let's go back to your childhood.
Yeah, here we go.
Lean
Here we
back.
go. Yeah. So with me, I'm in the process of learning about this approval that I still have, and it's about something very important.
I think we all have that, because a lot of times I need approval. I need somebody to say what you're doing. You're in the right direction. You're going. Thanks, George. I was a little quiet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going in the right direction. You're doing the right thing. I look for people's approvals. Even opening the center and getting it going, I wanted people to say, yes, you're doing the right thing. Hey, this is great. We need that. We need
Well, you
approval.
talked about that when we were talking about channeling on that last show. You were talking about how you had to close your eyes so you don't look at the reactions.
When they're on the table, if they come up and they want to channel through me, then I have to close my eyes, because if I'm looking at George and I'm telling him what they're telling me and he smiles and nods his head,
Keep going.
then I'm going to just keep going in that direction. Suddenly I'm giving them what I think and not what they think. So if I close my eyes and talk to them, and I always tell you beforehand, so I apologize early for not looking you in the eyes, but I don't want to see you. I want to just let them say what they
Yeah.
need to say, what Spirit has to say to you without me.
Yeah. So what did you learn this week?
This has been a rough week. I did the weekend with Lainey. She had a little workshop on death and dying. So a lot of things came up.
He died.
Yeah, boy. She
Part of him died.
She took us to a minute before conception and a minute after you died, and wow, what a journey. But anyway, what I really learned this week is to allow people to help me. I don't allow people around me to help. It's like I can handle everything myself. And this week I started letting people come in and help and do things. Always have people at the center that say, wait, let us come in, and I'll come in and I'll clean the bathroom and I'll clean the rooms, and let's get the center clean. I'm like, I'll get it. So then I'm in on my hands and knees and I'm doing a man type of bathroom cleaning. And
That's scary.
it is scary, because we get just enough to where it looks good, but if you lift the carpet up, it's still black all around where the carpet was.
George is over here
there's
laughing. He knows what that's all
spots
about,
anyway.
don't you?
So this week, Teresa said to me during the workshop, she goes, I want to come in Monday and clean the bathroom. I said, thank you. I'll bring the stuff. I just let it go, and here we go again. Let it go. And just allowed her, and she came in and she did a beautiful job. It looked like when I moved in, and I never cleaned it that good. Never. So letting people help. and
So
allowing
what
that.
do you think? What do you think it is? Because I
It's
struggle
ego.
with that too. Well, it's ego, obviously, but drop below that. What are you getting out of not letting people help? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm dropping low. Okay. It's
it's
control.
gonna be one of those.
Yeah, it's
gonna
control.
be one of
It's control.
Yeah, but
Because
what do you get out of being in control?
Because then you did it, and it's yours, and you didn't have to have help, and it's all that stuff that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
You roll those eyes again, and I'm walking off the set.
And you paid for it.
But I think it's not having nobody help you. You don't have to be in debt to anybody. You don't have to, And I'm the guy that if my battery's dead, I'll walk home, get the second vehicle, come back and jump start it to get it started before I will ask somebody. Or I will call a family, my son or my daughter, and have them drive 20 miles to give me a jump start before I'll ask the guy next to me, hey, can you jump me? There's just something about it that but I'm letting it go, and I'm doing that now. I'm asking for help, and I'm reaching out, and I'm speaking, and it's partially because of you and a few others that I'm able to call up on the phone and say, hey, here's a little issue I'm having with with what's going on, and can you give me some insight. Between you and Robert and a couple others, I'm able to release that.
So do you owe me now?
Again? George, can I borrow 50?
He thought he made it up because he beat me to the studio today, so he thought he was going to make that even. Actually, I used to do things. Let's see if I can go back to this, because once I get something, I integrate it pretty fast. That's why this approval thing came up and bit me, because I thought I had it.
Mm-hmm.
That's always what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that one nailed. But when I used to do it, I had to do it for myself, because what I got out of it was I would be able to get more love from people if I did it myself.
Hold on.
Yeah, whatever. But it's different for everybody. But that's because I had a belief that if I couldn't fix something, the only way I could get appreciation and love from someone is if I fixed something for them. That gave me my value. That's how I defined myself. So if I did it myself, it's the difference between singing in a choir and doing a solo act on stage.
Yeah.
Because we don't do anything unless we get something from it.
I guess. Mine was just, I'm going to do it. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. It's all handled. And then you realize you're not taking care of it.
You're not taking care of it.
The floor is dark in there.
Well, even the little bit of work we did, that I did with you. Remember, I said, "Do you want to deal with this now?" And I immediately got this, and there was no hesitation. It was like immediately. You said, "Oh yeah, but we should do this when you're not so tired." Remember what I said? You don't have to take care of me.
Right. Because I don't want somebody to go out of their way and have to help me when they're not prepared or not ready. It's like, if you're tired, we can do it another time. You're like, I don't need you to worry about me. Like, you ready to go in there?
It's just a distraction to keep you from doing the work.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Facing
In
reality
that case.
stuff.
But you stepped up and you said, "No, look, we're going to do it. Let's do this now."
Happy
so we
to
did
do
this.
it.
Yeah. So we did this healing ritual which was quite interesting.
No, everything's interesting. We went back and found 12-year-old Wayne and met him, and
I'd already seen him several times, but
yeah, I brought him out on Sunday a couple times,
Yeah.
or Saturday. It was Saturday when
Yeah.
I brought him out at the workshop a couple times, screaming for help because he didn't know how to react to how somebody else was reacting to something,
and he didn't know how to ask for help because there wasn't any.
Yeah, you don't trust. It was a
Right.
trust issue, and it's all coming to the surface now, and man, it feels a lot better.
It does. Yeah, it does. So that's what we learned about ourselves this week.
Yep. That was a lot.
That was a lot. It was.
Want to go number 2 now? I also
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't care. You got
No, we're
more.
good.
You can put it.
We're good.
You can save it for next time. I
Okay.
can get my glasses on here. I actually have to
I
read
won't
something.
remember that far, so
Yeah, I
next
know.
time.
We'll
yes.
have to retrain
You'll
you
say,
when you get
"Remember
on."
when you? I said, the key there is remember.
Okay. So we decided to talk about, and it was we, remember, because I called you and asked you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she says.
Yeah.
For those of you who know Lainey, we is not the factor; it's she.
Oh.
All right, it was we. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thanks. You bailed yourself out
Yeah,
that
I
time.
did.
So what we were talking about before the weekend, remember? I
Mm-hmm.
called you before. I said, "What do you want to talk about next week?" And it was interesting because you were going to give yourself a night with your Friday night or something, wasn't it? Didn't you say you were not gonna?
I was shutting the phone down.
Yeah.
And I was hoping to get 3, 4, 5 hours to experiment with different smudges and sages and try to get into some deep meditation because I had to find who I am. I'm
Yeah.
trying to dig deep to find out who's in here.
So that's what we're talking about, and out of that came this thing. Was usually what I do is I ask people, so what is it you want to talk about it? And because I'm looking at a way to put it out there that everybody can understand it, and it just suddenly dawned on me, oh, it's about who am I really?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
is that?
it's
How do we
looking.
get lost in that?
Looking deep into finding out because, I'm, like you say, director of Spiritus Reiki Center. I also have another job and my son works with me. And so who am I? Then when I go home, I'm Wayne.
But who is that?
But who's Wayne?
Who you don't get
Yeah.
enough. You don't get enough time to really find that out
Right,
because you're so
by the
busy
time I
taking
get
care of other
home,
people.
I'm dead tired.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I get there and I think, okay, tonight I'm going to meditate and I'm going to talk to spirit and I'm going to get in front of the altar and I'm going to lay down in this bed and I'm going to fall asleep. And it was really nice talking to you. And it's over.
and you lay down and, and you're
That's the
gone,
truth.
right? Yeah.
And then I blamed it on the apartment. I said, okay, it's the apartment. There's something going on here. And that is part of the problem because there's energy in all the walls above us, beside us. And that's part of the problem. But it's still the fact that you're taking care of so many people, you forget about you. So now you have to take time. I have to stop.
I think that part of what happens there too, there's certain times in our life where there's some big changes that happen. So like roles that we've played go away. All right. So one of the big ones is when probably that most parents think of is when the kids, it's that empty nest thing. I've talked to them in a way that they're little kids or they've needed me till this point, and then all of a sudden they got wings and they fly.
Right.
So now it's who am I? And I think dads and moms go through a different thing. Because moms are usually about taking care of all the little details, and dads are about usually the bigger piece. How do you go out there in the world? I think that's where the role modeling happens. If you go back to the caveman days, yeah. God. Sound effects and everything this time. This is good. This is good.
No wonder I didn't wear my pants today because it was the sound effects, and I want to be a caveman. This naked thing is really working for us.
What? Okay, we'll be back after a commercial break.
I'll get the commercial quick.
Find one, George, quickly. Oh, dear.
All right.
All right. Okay, be serial about this now, will you? Okay.
This is, again, me trying to sidestep this whole issue.
I know it
of finding out
is.
who we really are.
I know it is. I know it is. You have to do it in public.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, okay.
Want me to stand up?
No.
Okay.
Because they're all going to look. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, deep breath. We're all breathing now. Okay.
We're back.
We're back. All right. But there are times. I mean, I'm going through one now because my kids have, they're in their 40s and 30s. Oh my God. Anyway, it's really, I've heard more people say about the 60s, especially like my aunt who's 92, people that have survived it, and they say, I've heard it many, many times. They'll say the 60s are great. They're great because you don't have kids to take care of. You don't have. I know you're looking at that because
Really?
you're still helping. Yeah. But no. Truthfully, it is. It is a time. What it's looking like to me is now I really have time. I have more time to pick and choose. A lot of people are retiring. From jobs they've worked at. I know you and I aren't.
Yeah,
I don't
that
even know
is.
how to spell that one. I hear retire and I think I got to get new tires for my car. But it's those kinds of incidences that are, and it usually, if you talk to psychologists, it's something around the 30 mark, it's something around the 40 mark, it's something around the 60 mark. I don't hear too much about 50, because I
50,
think
you're settling in. You're finishing up the work cycles or whatever, and everybody's kind of going their own way, and it's all nice and perfect.
So it's about trying to figure out. Part of it is well, this has been my role. I've been a worker. I've been an attorney. I've been a nurse. I've been these roles that we've taken on that define who we are. I mean, I was singing right up until I was 60. I was singing on stage, and I may do it again. It's going to be in a different way. I can tell you right now. I mean, I can feel it coming. Because I miss it, but I don't want to do it the way I did. So that just tells me that there's this big shift going on internally. That's going on. And you went through one. You told me, 5 years ago? You weren't even looking at 5 years ago, if I'd have said, what do you do?
Oh, yeah.
Or if I'd have been a psychic medium at that time and said, here's what's going to happen is you're going to open the center and you're going to be teaching Reiki and, that wasn't even on the radar.
It wasn't even in the neighborhood. No, I couldn't see this coming. And it wasn't, again, the kids were on doing their own thing and I had my little thing going and I'm thinking, this is it. And then suddenly Spirit appears and says, no, this is not it.
It appeared in an interesting way. I mean, we were both here during the financial meltdown in Vegas where very interesting times. 1 in 11 people were going through foreclosure.
Yeah.
You went through it. I went through it. You got to go through bankruptcy. I couldn't.
Yeah.
That's kind of stuff. It strips you down to the core.
You didn't think about buying a couple houses for $300,000-$400,000 because it was no big deal. Because the payments were being made, everything was good.
Everything
money
was
coming
good.
in, and then you redefined who you are again.
Yeah.
So, but you lose the house, you lose the toys, you lose stuff, and you go, okay.
Yeah.
Who are you?
So there's a catalyst, and I think what's different for me right now is I am going through the process of, well, who am I without the label?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Because that was a point where, for me, I was a kingpin. In my industry, I was big, and I was, and then you're not.
Yeah.
And then it drops down to 80%, 90% of what you were doing is gone.
Now, that doesn't mean that you don't go through that process until you're 60. I'm just saying I think there's a tendency for a lot of people to do that, because that is a big major thing. I mean, all of a sudden you're not going to go back to work. You're going to work differently. I've heard more people say when I retired I've got more to do than when I was working, But it is how am I going to lead my life? How am I going to experience my life now? And not only how am I going to experience my life now, but who is it that's going to experience it? Who is this really?
Right.
What am I about? And I've watched younger people go through it. Interestingly enough, it typically, I think, happens when there is something, so there's a catalyst that happens. I don't think you might walk into it consciously, but it seems to me like there's a fork in the path, or there's something that pushes you in a certain direction. With me, it was a broken leg. People have heard me talking about that on the show a lot. Yeah, I thought it was the divorce I went through after 27 years. That was just the door opener. That was the handle on the doorknob turning the knob, and I did it. I mean, it got to a place where I had to do something different. I knew it, because my spirit wasn't being fed in that relationship, and hadn't been for a long time.
Yeah, and mine was the opposite, kind of a different direction, because mine was kind of pushed into where Spirit says you're going to open a center, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, what do you mean I'm opening a center? I didn't even take my master's test for Reiki because I was happy doing what I was doing.
And now you're teaching.
And now I'm teaching.
And you're getting ready to do something else that's going to expand that.
Yeah, go take the Holy Fire
Reiki.
Yeah, it's huge and new and exciting, and that's going to be great. But finding out who the real you is that's me, and that's my reality. But who's the real you? What are you doing? What are you looking for? Because the center is beautiful. I love having the center. My Thursday night Reiki circles are outstanding. Everything's going great.
Which you're going to after this.
Where I'm running to after this, because we have 2 healings going, but it's doing really good. And we had 18 events this month for June, which was outstanding, and I think you were 17 of them, but or at least a couple of them anyway. But
at least I'll take 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was a few of them, but a lot of things are happening. The center is very successful, but there's something more. There's something more going on. That's why I wanted the meditation time. That's what I wanted, which 5 hours turned into be about 45 minutes is what I got.
Yeah.
It just didn't turn out the way I planned, but it's the way they planned. And it's just figuring out what's the next step. Where does it go from here? How do you reach and expand people's vibrations? How can you let people know who Father is out, who is the creator, and who is and what are they looking for, and so many questions. Let me get on the couch. Hold on.
You got to get one in here. I think, for me, what I've found, and I'm a couple of years ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shh.
Okay.
Anyway, so what I think is going on for me is that whatever I'm doing out here, it needs to start in here first, because I've spent a whole lot of my life where it started out here and I was reacting to it. I didn't feel like I was at choice. And that's part of why I got, blood pressure went up. I gained way more weight than I needed to. Things were going sideways. Emotionally, I was crashing. It wasn't working. So I needed to go and find out, who is this in here? Who is that spark?
And listen to who it is.
Yeah, and
here.
if you don't, this is what I found. Then I do things like break a leg. I just didn't. I got such a lesson in financial responsibility going through all of that. It's not that I had a bad relationship with my finances. I just didn't care. Right. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't honoring them. I wasn't honoring that part of me. I do now. I'm still struggling with pieces of it, as he's heard me whine about it every once in a while. But I really think that it's about going inward, and you can do that at any age. You talk to somebody who's gone through cancer at a very early age, and they will tell you there's this thing that's happening now. There's an appreciation for life that they never had before, and it starts in here. It doesn't start out here. It isn't all the stuff that you have to get done that day. I found, this is what I brought in, is that I sent a copy to him so he could look at it, which
Whatever.
he didn't do it. Yeah, but that's all right.
He got it to George by mistake.
Yeah. Okay, we'll blame George.
He didn't call me.
Yeah, okay, that's his fault. Okay. So I thought it was really interesting because after we talked about who am I really, then all of a sudden this popped up and it said the 12 truths you may not remember about who you really are. And the first one is, it says you are ever expanding. You are also, the universe is always expanding as a piece of the universe. You are also ever expanding, giving birth to new ideas, desires, and dreams. So now this ever expansion starts from in here, because part of what you want to do, part of what makes you excited, you know, and I've asked you questions this week. I've said, what's, you know, we've had that conversation about what's fun.
Yeah.
What's fun?
Yeah, she asked that. She says, so what do you do for fun? I sat back in the chair and I said,
Dunno.
well, this is fun. The center is fun.
But what about it is fun?
But she said, yeah, what is about it? And is it fun? I'm like, it's fun for me.
But
tough
see,
question.
but see, that's really important. It is
Yeah.
fun for you,
Yeah.
because what I ended up finally figuring out just a night or two ago when we were talking was that what's really fun for you is the creation part. It's getting the idea, because Spirit didn't say you will open a center, because you've said on an earlier show you had a choice. You could walk away
Of
from
course.
that.
You didn't have to take it. And I told him no right from the beginning. No, this is not
That's
for
right.
me.
But they kept giving you pictures of what it could look
Yeah.
like, and it was the hook. It was something, you know, well, how would I do that? And for you, what it looks like to me is it's the creation piece. How do I get from here to here? And I get to help create on this.
Right. And then you step back and go, well, who's going to come to an East Side Reiki
But see, that's
circle?
not that part that's
That's
hooked
right.
to Spirit.
Right.
That's when the personality kicks
Yeah.
in, and all of a sudden there's all of this fear about what if I fail?
That's still part of you. That's
Yeah.
finding the real you, because we have the fear in us still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though my center is successful at the moment and doing really well, and it's going to get bigger and better. I don't mean at the moment, but it's because it's going to get better. It's still the fear of, am I doing the right thing? And real quick, I had one of the people that had been with me for a little while. He came in. He goes, "Hey, can we talk about the circle?" And I'm thinking, this is odd because, you know, I said, okay. He goes, "I think you need to do it differently."
Now this is the Reiki circle.
This is my Reiki circle.
Reiki
on
circle. That's
Thursday
every
night.
Thursday night.
So he says, you know, every Thursday everybody introduces himself and they tell a little story about something about what happened during the week and how Reiki helped them or whatever. He said, but we've heard all of them and what they do and what modality they have. And I said, okay. He goes, let's do where you have a subject, something you can talk about and they can teach. I said, okay, let's talk about you for a second. I said, you walked in here 3-4 months ago. You scared to death with your wife. You turned around and then came back the next week and you talked. And then I said, in the third week, you're signing up for Reiki 1. I said, and every week you're learning something from everybody around you. I said, the purpose of this Reiki circle is to expand and grow. So you come in here and you start to learn and your vibration goes up, and that's the sole purpose. And you start to learn more by listening to other people. I said, now you're a Reiki master, and it's been probably 6 months. I said, you're a Reiki master and you've outgrown the circle because you want to learn more, and this circle is set the way it's set. You'll learn more, but not if you want to have a subject line. So I said, we're probably not going to change it. I'm probably going to leave it just the way it is.
And
Yeah.
you can invite him to go and start his own.
I did. I said, you know, you're welcome to come here every week and listen to the people and help them. You know, tell them stuff that you've done and reactions. And he still kept coming.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to be there, but it was just he thought it should be ran more. But I had to go into myself at that point right then and say, okay, do I listen and conform to what everybody else wants, or do I stick with the dream and the vision that Spirit's given me? You know, somebody else said, well, you should open a shop in here and start selling all this stuff and, you know, have the front part be a shop. I said, no, they didn't show me a shop in this vision. You know, a shop would come later.
Yeah, see, and I think that's interesting because the way you say it, it sounds like they're telling you what to do. But
No.
I've conversed with you enough, and we've gone
Yeah.
around this post enough. I
Yeah.
understand that that's your way of saying, this is what they showed me, and I didn't want to do it, but there must have been something there because you kept coming back to it.
Right.
So it talked to something deep in you, which goes to your purpose. Number 2 is your purpose is to be you. You're not.
You have to be. I have to be Wayne.
Yeah, you are not here to simply buy a large house, get in shape, get to the top of the career ladder, pull it all together, pull together a wedding, while accomplishing your goals and dreams can be a rewarding and a beautiful
like
part
that.
of your
Back
life.
up, buying
You
the
want to go
beautiful
back
house.
to the wedding?
Yeah.
You've already
No,
been married
I
twice.
said, let's go to buy the large house.
Oh, okay. But you have all that.
Yeah, we've been there, done this.
You know, and I was married to somebody who created all of that, but I was miserable. It wasn't working because there wasn't any room for who I was. The people that have listened in before have heard me say, and you've heard me say it, it was okay as long as I left myself at the bottom of the driveway.
Right.
So who did I leave at the bottom of the driveway? Well, turns out that it took the form of becoming a shamanic practitioner, took the form of singing on stage and writing music, and all of that wasn't accepted by the other person that I was with. I was told that I was being tolerated. Nobody wants to be tolerated in a
This
relationship.
was my second marriage.
Oh, okay.
You know, where
You had a mirror there.
Oh, it would be the point where you would be doing something, and she would say, "Oh, yeah. So, what does your spirit say about that?" It was like, really?
Yeah. So that number 2, I think, that's the big part for me, is your true purpose is to be you, your own unique blend of passions, interests, ideas, quirks. I'll take the quirks.
I got a lot of
I
those.
got a quirks, yeah. And gifts. Your mission is to discover more about who you are, to love yourself and others at the deepest level. So that's that thing, the namaste.
Mm-hmm.
The light in me sees the light in
in
you,
you.
right? Without compromising my light, you know.
And that's not easy.
That's not easy because we're raised in a situation where life batters us around, and we have to do things like ask for help, and we
Right.
have to, you know. So number 3 is you are the essence beneath your labels and titles. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
You may take on many titles, labels, and roles in your life, but do not confuse them with your true identity. Your true essence is deep and unchanging. I think that's really true because a real deep part of my essence is I just absolutely love to laugh. I love to look at things. I love to look at things in a way that most people don't look at them, you know, and not be afraid to put that out like I was
Right.
for a long time. You know, I like standing in the wind, facing into it, you know, and
Yeah.
say, what is this all about?
I was so hooked on the fact that I had to make X amount of dollars every year and had to have the new car and and then when I started the center, I realized I didn't need any of that. The
Yeah.
center is who I really am.
Right.
The center and what they're doing there is what I really am.
Yeah. And I had this experience of losing a 4,000 square foot house, putting it all in 3 storage units, and then after a year and a half going back and opening the door on them for the first time and going, how long is it going to take me to get rid of this crap? I couldn't even remember most of what was in there. And it was an amazing experience. So those were kind of those are kind of the internal things.
Sure.
Yeah, but this one is you are external. Your energy existed before you were here in this physical body, and your energy will continue to exist after you've finished experiencing life in this physical body, which is
Absolutely.
what we focused on this weekend.
Yes. Oof,
Yeah.
Boy, did
Yeah. Yeah. And you have the power to create your world. This is where thoughts become things.
Yes, and if you have the ability you do have the ability to step forward and experience this, but so much as we're so into, Mom and Dad said, you
Yeah.
have to go be
The old programming.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. And coming out of a time, understand that the people that came out of the Depression, like my parents, their generation, that era, was learning about how to be frugal, was learning about how to take care of ourselves, how to work together. There's very few marriages these days that last. Like my parents were married 65 years.
Wow.
They came out of a generation where the option wasn't good. It was better to be together
Right.
and to work through it. We don't have to do that now.
Right. It's easy. Divorce is 4 days.
Well, in Nevada.
4 days. 4 days in Nevada to get
Yeah.
a divorce. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. So you have the power. You're the author of your life story, and you hold the pen. I think that's interesting because, as I mentioned earlier, and you've been kind of a mentor for me on that, because you have a great way. You create pretty easily.
Sure.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, he's winking at me. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, so this mortgage, it was just crazy because it started out, I tried to find someplace because I knew the interest rates are going up. I had an adjustable rate mortgage, which you do not want to have. If you can get out of them, folks, get out of them because it'll go up, right? So I was trying to lock it in, but I had this foreclosure. And I finally ended up, I kept getting mail from the servicing company that I ended up with in the long run on this house. And I tried everything else, and it just said no. Well, that was spirit going, you know, nudging me along here. And ended up with the same company I already make my payment to, and through the HARP program, which is the Obama, which is all of this that's in place now to help you get through it. I ended up locking it in at 30 years at 4.37%. Nice. $160 less than I was paying, you know. And what was interesting to me, and I'm talking to this guy the whole time, you know, about this. Okay, how am I going to manifest this? Because I'm worried about it. And it started out, closing costs were $1,400 cash. Great. Now I got to sell something else off so I can get, you know, because I've got stuff invested for retirement that's going to cause me huge penalties if I take it out. So I'm trying to navigate this whole thing. So 3 days ago they call me and say it's going to be $700. Okay, and I'm just going, okay, I'm just going to picture that this is fine, that it's going to be, everything's going to be fine, everything's happening the way it should. And when I got down to it this morning when I signed the papers, they're paying me $250. I don't know where it came from, and I just said, I'm not asking.
Sign the paper.
Which also gave me the cash tomorrow because I got somebody that's got to show up and trim those palm trees in the backyard. Or the HOA is going to start finding me because they're not trimmed, you know. So I'm sitting there looking at this sea of energy that's moving, and I'm going, you know, I hate to say it, he was right. He was right. Okay. But
got to learn to let things go. Let
that
them happen.
Let it go. Yeah, there we are again.
Let it happen.
Okay, so number 6 is you are naturally entitled to well-being, happiness, love, and abundance. Naturally.
That's what
you're entitled
we're brought down for.
See,
you know,
I think you believe that at your core.
Yes.
That's what I'm learning.
I mean, we're brought down here for, Creator didn't just say, okay, I'm going to bring you down so you guys can have total chaos and live in a world that's just going to be all wacky and everybody's, he said, you know, I'm giving you, you have the ability to be your own God on earth. You have the ability to manifest what you want. You have the ability to go where you want to go and what you want to do. You know, it's up to you. Believe it, and it'll happen.
Yep.
Follow it, and it'll happen.
Yep.
It's the toughest thing to do.
It is, especially if you come out of a history where your experience is that just doesn't happen.
I got beat up in the real world.
Yeah.
You know, and when it finally got taken away from me is when you go, okay, so what is there to this? How much more do I have to remake again to be accepted in this world? And I realized, well, who cares to be accepted in this world? Who's this world to tell me who I'm going to be? We have to learn to be our own.
Right. So 7 is everything in life is a lesson you were meant to learn. Everything.
Yeah. Nothing happens. No matter what if you cut your finger, stop and ask, why did that just happen?
Yeah. What can I learn from this?
What did I just learn from cutting my finger? Was I moving too fast? Was I thinking? Was I not thinking?
Right.
What was going on? There's a reason it happened.
Right. Yeah.
Everything.
Everything. See your life experiences as lessons you need to learn to blossom into your best self. I think I'm at my best. The best I've been in my life, I think, is right now. I really feel that. I mean, I look back. I got things I'm working on. I'm trying to figure out how to go through things. But overall, if I look at it, I operated in my life. I don't think I was maybe a 5. Maybe if I got lucky, I hit 6. But I think I'm about 8.5.
Yeah.
You aren't even going to say 9?
8.5 was good.
Okay.
I don't want to push it too
He's
far.
He's so quick. Yeah. Okay.
But,
all right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we're right where we're supposed to be, and if it feels right, it's exactly what's going to be happening. So just go with it and see where it goes. I mean.
Yeah, the addendum, what I think is really important is, but be aware, if you don't learn the lesson, you will continue to experience the same pain, conflicts, and negative outcomes over and over again. And
this is like in the dating world. We end up dating the same woman. I dated her 5 times.
See, I married everybody I dated. I didn't even do that. I skipped over that part. So you're talking new to me here.
5 times, and you say, okay, so what's the problem? And then I married the 6th one, you know, that I said, okay, I can change her.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
I'm a Reiki master.
Yeah.
She's vibration's going to come up, and she's going to agree with me, and she's going to be part of me.
No
and we're
ego
gonna-
there, right?
It was probably a whole lot of ego because it didn't work. My
No.
plan was not her plan, and I learned.
Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, I still love her, and I still appreciate her, and I'm doing anything for her. So it wasn't like it was a hate thing,
Mm-hmm.
but you learned from her, and,
And
you
the-
learned big lessons.
And the trick on learning, somebody says, well, how can you learn when you just got your arm cut off?
Yeah.
You know, when they were packing me in the ambulance to the hospital when I broke my leg, because I had both bones sticking out of my leg, I remember distinctly thinking, ooh, I wonder what I'm going to learn from this.
Yeah.
Nah, I was already on morphine, so that helped a whole
Yeah.
lot, you know.
Dude,
But
it was more like, dude, I
Yeah,
wonder
dude.
what I'm gonna learn from all this.
yeah, it says you may have caught a glimpse of your true. Oh, this is you are perfect just as you are. The universe created you, so who are you to judge that you're not good enough, beautiful enough, talented enough, or deserving? You may have caught a glimpse of your true nature, divine nature, when you've been dancing, creating, making love, laughing, watching a sunset, or lost in the flow of doing something you love. So see, it comes back to what is your heart's desire, because that's spirit talking to you. If it's in the highest and best good, what is your heart's desire?
Right.
You know? So I love to laugh. This is great. I love laughing. I'll do anything that'll help me truly laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because I can go bury myself. You've seen it. I can bury myself with the best of them.
I'm here to help everybody to laugh. So
Yeah, we've seen this. It's a little daunting sometimes, but all right. Okay.
George is laughing. So
Yeah,
it's okay.
I know. You're looking at him for approval. I see it. Your natural state is love. You can break the habit of judging and criticizing, labeling people, and putting them in boxes. You will become aware of the same light shining in everybody. There's the namaste. I see the light in me sees the light in
That's
you.
not easy.
I have to remind myself when somebody's bugging me or I'm irritated at something somebody just did. I have to get into a place where I go, this is a soul on their path. I have to close my eyes sometimes. But if I've got my eyes closed and I say it enough and I open them, I can see it.
Joseph Whitewolf this morning in Sedona, he put on Facebook, and it just said, when you look in the water, you see the reflection of your physical body.
Right.
When you look at another human being, you're seeing the reflection of you. So if there's something in you I don't like, then I got to think, okay, what is that that's in me that makes me not want to like? And I've really learned that lesson in the past.
Oh.
If you want to ask, what did you learn this week? That was about the top of the list, somewhere in there. But
Yep.
you got to really learn to accept everybody for who they are.
So number 9 is your natural state is love. That's the thing about you can break the habit of judging and criticizing. Number 10 is you are much safer than you think. Your fears and worries about the world are like a horror movie projection in your mind. They are not real. Your true self, remember the true self?
Mm-hmm.
We did that practice
Yeah, we
this
did.
weekend. Your true self is strong, secure, and invulnerable. It cannot be harmed by other people's opinions or external circumstances. And it doesn't come from a place of, okay, I'm going to stop you, you know, because there's an edge to that. It comes from a place of I am who I am. I'm like the sun. And I'm just going to shine as brightly
Just
as
a
I
quick
can.
side note.
Yeah.
Soap operas are not real.
Really?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody of that, that they're not real, because we get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And
the
those,
drama.
the lifestyles, and in the love that's in those things, and the way that you can't always be making love and holding hands, and you gotta do your own thing sometimes.
It's not walking around in bliss the whole time.
Right.
People get attached to, okay, we're going to go out and we're going to beat a drum and we're going to dance around the fire and we're going to hit bliss, and then as soon as it's gone,
Right.
they're back to what they were doing.
It's okay not to like the spouse for a little bit.
Yeah.
You still gotta love them.
Yeah.
You'll always love them.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like them all the time. You can
Yeah.
walk away for a little bit and go to another room or go do something.
And based on what this is saying, which I think this thing is excellent, based on what this thing is saying, is that you're recognizing that's a part of me that I don't like, and I'm really not ready to deal with that. So I'm going to love them and let them go, and I'm going to love me and walk the other way for a while, because that's part of it. So
Yeah.
the world is a reflection of you. You see what you expect to see. You get back the energy you put out. I don't know who started it. I've heard it from several people. I think the last one is Tony Robbins. Energy flows where energy goes. So if you're going to spend your whole time being in fear, guess what?
Yep.
That's all you're going to see.
It's gonna follow you.
It's going to follow you. Yeah. So, Oh, here's number 12. You have access to all the answers you seek, which is where Wayne and I come in. This is one of my big things, is helping people get in touch with their intuition. That's yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
We come at it from different directions, although they're kind of coming together a little bit. But if you can learn to trust in yourself and listen to your inner voice and intuition, you will be amazed at the infinite storehouse of wisdom, guidance, and ideas that you possess.
Right. Most people just have to give a little light switch. You just got to flick it on, and they're like, wow, really?
Yeah.
You know?
And isn't it fun to watch?
Hey, you do
When
it
you
to me
see
all the time where you flick a little switch, and I'm like, seriously? But
Oh, he just gave me something I didn't know I had. Okay.
gave her too much already.
Okay. So those are the 12 things. Access the answers you seek through prayer, meditation, journaling, or ask the universe for signs.
You know, something I don't do that I really wish I did more of, and I would really recommend it to everybody, journaling. Because when I do write a note here and there, and I go back and I find it 3, 6, 8 months later,
Yeah.
whenever I pick that one, because I'm one of those people that I put notes on this book, and then notes in this notebook,
Yeah.
and notes in this notebook, and on this pad, and on the back of this piece of cardboard, and over on the wall
That's
over
why
here.
you couldn't find George's phone?
Yeah. it's
Okay,
somewhere.
see, you got to give him his
So
phone number.
I'm finding journaling is becoming really huge. Joseph Whitewolf again did a dream journey for me, and I have it written, and it's laying on my dresser by me, and so I'm able to look at that whenever I feel like picking it up and reading. It's amazing what you forget.
Well, there's the act of creation too, because that's when you are writing, when you are
Yeah.
physically putting it, you're connecting right from spirit, right through you outside.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think you could do it if you recorded your thoughts in like on a little recorder as
Same
well.
thing.
But I think this is something different. you know.
Also the prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the dogma of the church, they teach you how to pray a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to talk to Creator as He is your best friend. Because that's what He wants to be, just to be your best friend. You guys were best friends. You are best friends. You don't have to do all this special prayers and, have to be on your knees. Most of my meditation and prayer comes driving the work truck from one stop to the next stop. That's where all my meditations and prayer is done. And when I'm in the store and I'm doing something that I need to do inside and I don't have to think, I can just do automatic, I talk. I ask questions.
But it's also, let's add a little piece to that. Let's add the piece that what Sean Wayma was talking about at that smudging class. Was it that or was it another one? Doesn't matter. Talking about the Creator is not your buddy. The Creator, there's an honor
It's
and
not your
reverence
buddy.
and respect for a best friend.
But that's the Native American Indians tradition, and I still think there's still a part where you can come halfway.
Well, but
Because
I
you can
think,
still you still have to have the respect factor, but he's your friend.
well, the thing is that I've had
Or
best
she's your friend.
friends. Oh, nice to add that. Best friends that I didn't have the honor and respect for him as a soul walking their path. I think that's the difference.
Total different thing. Yeah, you got
I
to have
think-
total respect and
Right.
reverence for them because he is or she is your everything right there.
Well, we talked our way through the hour pretty good.
We did good.
We did good.
George has given us a finger. Oh, I meant
No,
2
5.
fingers. Oh, 5 fingers.
There were
Is that what
5 fingers.
Now
Now we're
it's
down to
3.
3.
What do you
Okay.
mean read between the lines?
Okay,
I don't
so
get it. Why is he being so mean today?
I don't know. Wayne, tell them how they can call you if they want to. Okay.
The
And where
Spirit
they can
Reiki
find you.
Center is located at 3300 East Sunrise Avenue, Suite 102, right off of Charleston and Pecos Road off the 95 over there, just west. I'm sorry, yes, just west. That's it. Number is 702-810-3354, and that takes you right to my cell phone. If you're looking to come in and lay on the crystal healing table, we changed it to table.
I
away
think that
from
was a good
bed.
thing.
Yeah. If you're interested in that, again, call that phone number, 702-810-3354, and we'll set up appointments, and I'm pretty open. So
Yeah. I'm Lainey Risto, and you can reach me at 702-308-8464. If you want a private healing session with me, you can go to my Facebook page, you can go to Facebook, and that'll take you to my webpage. You can go to my webpage, which is shamanicsong.com, and you can call me from there as well. This week, if you're out there and you're stumbling and you feel like you don't know what you want to do, stop and take just a small step in that moment and decide, maybe I want to turn right instead of turning left. It's the small steps, I still think, where the big changes make,
I agree.
So if that happens, or if you just don't know, take a quiet moment, even if it's only 45 minutes, and just be with yourself and connect to who you are.
He's giving us one finger.
We're
This
done?
is Wayne Hilterman with Spirit is Reiki Center, inviting you anytime to come on down and talk. Thank you for being with us today.
Have a great week.
I just want
Wave.
to take over.
We're done.
Bye, y'all.
Here I am, standing at the door, looking back at life as it's been before.